Wow, a massive round of applause. Well, for more on Tesla's electric SUV, we are joined by Dr. Barton. He's the Chief Technical Strategist at Money Map Press. Dr., thank you for joining us tonight. As we can see, it seems that everyone loves the new Tesla Model X. The crowds are going nuts, and also the critics. Wired magazine's headline says, Tesla's Model X is here, and it's as awesome as we hoped. So we saw awesome in a lot of headlines about the Model X. What would your headline be for the Model X?
Well, I think my headline would be, after knowing how good the Model S was, it might be something more like incremental improvements, but boy, is it cool. So I agree, there's a lot of awesome features. The engineering on this thing is just off the hook, Karina. And, you know, I heard one of the commentators before saying, you know, a lot of other phones do the same thing that the iPhone does. And that's really just not the case with Tesla. They are head and shoulders ahead of everyone in the electric car front. And they're so far out front that right now they can sell everything they make. Their only challenge going forward right now is not marketing, it's not engineering, it's manufacturing. Can they produce enough of these cars to make a difference? And more importantly, can they learn how to produce cars quickly so that they can get to the holy grail of the Model 3, which is the much cheaper model that's due to come out in 2017.
Okay. Well, let's talk some more about the Model X. It can go just over 400 kilometers on a single charge, but CEO Elon Musk said in an interview recently that he thinks he'll be able to design a car that can drive 1,000 kilometers on a single charge within a year or two. Realistic expectation, or what do you think?
Well, you know, 2.5x the current standard, which is already head and shoulders again above everyone else. The Leaf goes about 85 miles, maybe, you know, 140 kilometers on a charge. So the Tesla, much bigger car, is already going a lot further than that. I believe that Elon Musk is a great caster of vision, and then he gets people to follow along. I think he makes huge promises with tight timelines, doesn't always hit those initial timelines, but I wouldn't bet against him here. One of the things that their engineering team does very well, maybe best in the world, is power management. And if anyone can tackle that problem, I believe it is the folks at Tesla.
Yeah, it would be. With a man who thinks we can colonize Mars, perhaps sometime soon, he's definitely the guy to do it, if anyone can. So what do you make of the price at around $130,000? Who's going to buy it?
Well, clearly the early adopters are going to be the ones that are going to buy this. The well-heeled, the people who have some green background to them, that they're eco-conscious. Those kinds of people are going to flock to this thing. Certainly the early ones, the first 6 months, a year, it's going to be a big status symbol to be able to get one of the first ones off the line. So that's going to be the target market there. And Karina, it's interesting that $132,000 does not get you to 0 to 60 in 3.2, only 0 to 60 in 3.7. To get that fancy ludicrous button, you've got to pony up another 10 grand.
Okay, so at this point, it's really only for the rich, but the real game changer is going to come when they come out with their Model 3, which you talked about earlier. It's expected to retail for around $35,000. Do you think it will appeal to the mass market?
I think it really will. You look at how well that the Nissan Leaf has sold. It's actually the best-selling all-electric vehicle of all time. They've moved about, as of the end of 2014, about 150,000 units. The sales figures look like another 30,000 units in the first half of this year, so up to about 180,000 units. That price point for the baseline Leaf is just under $30,000, $29,000. So I think a $35,000 price point with a car that will have some of the engineering wow factor that Tesla will put into a car even at those lower levels will indeed be a game changer. Can they get the Gigafactory up and running on time? Can they learn how to mass produce cars instead of the custom design that they're doing now with the Model S and the Model X? Those will be the real challenges, as we've already talked about, Karina, for getting Tesla to its next level.
Okay, well, should Nissan then be nervous right now, given they're going to have a big competitor coming in the market in the next few years?
I think if I was Nissan, I'd be very nervous, because if the price point is within, 10–15% of the Leaf, and the car is going to have a lot more technological advantages, then yes, it will be a significant issue. And, Nissan, they've been around a long time. They have a great dealer network. There's a lot of reasons they sell lots of Leafs. They're not going to be sitting on their laurels either. But yes, I think that should put quite a bit of fear into all the EV, electronic vehicle companies out there.
Well, DR, overall for the EV market, we saw that gasoline prices have fallen about 20% this year as compared to last year. Is that something that could really impact demand for electric vehicles, the fact that prices at the pump are falling? So both in the short term and the long run, could this be very damaging for e-vehicles?
Yeah, it has to, Karina, because one of the reasons that people will go electric eventually will be for cost reasons. Right now, less competitive for the exact reason you said, when crude is so cheap and therefore gasoline is so cheap. All of the good projections going forward for how many electronic vehicles are going to be sold were done back in 2013, until just recently a German company did some numbers here early in 2015. Taking into account the new numbers, and it looks like a growth rate of around 76%, which is much less than people were forecasting in 2013, is probably the best number that we have out there right now. And it's the reason that you hit exactly. Lower oil prices are going to mean people are going to be slower to adopt an electric car into their garage. Okay,
great. So still some challenges for the e-vehicle market. Well, thank you so much. That was DR Barton, the Chief Technical Strategist at Money Map Press.